Let's talk about the cell activator. The cell activator is probably one of the most misunderstood components in acrylic pouring, and there are many forms of it. It's used in the bloom technique, it's used in swipes. So let's discuss the materials I'm using. First, the pillow. There's a number of options for the pillow. Generally, you want to use the pillow that will require the least amount of edits or modification. So if you don't need to add any water, that's best. Some brands that I recommend are Sherwin-Williams Color to Go, PPG Multi Pro also requires a little bit of water. There's Glidden Essentials. I can't possibly cover every pillow paint around the world, but reach out to me if there is a tested one in your country. I'll let you know. The color component is usually the trickiest, and especially now that the Behr 8300 has been discontinued, most people are now looking for an alternative to the Behr 8300. There's two options. There's the Behr Dynasty, and there's the HGTV Infinity. I prefer the Infinity personally, and I pair it with the Varathane Ultimate Polyurethane. And you're going for a consistency that looks like this in the video. It's about 3 parts of the Infinity to 1 part of the urethane, and then you will add a part of paint. I'm using soft body paints, so this thins the mixture. I don't need to add water usually, but if you use standard tube paints, you'll find that you'll need half to almost the whole part of water with the part of paint to get to the correct consistency. So now that I've put the colors on the canvas over the pillow, here is the cell activator. There's a number of recipes you can use. If you've got Australian Floetrol, you can try 3 parts of Floetrol to 1 part of an Amsterdam paint. If you've only got water, I would try 1.5 parts of paint to 1 part of water. And that will usually give you a pretty good place to start. Again, look at the consistency I'm showing you here. It's smooth. It always flows smoothly off the stick. It always snaps back. The stream will jump back up, and it should leave just a tiny mark on the surface of the paint when it lands. So I've put some on the back of this swipe tool, and I'm going to swipe across the canvas. I'm using some of the excess to fill out the negative space, but honestly, there's a lot of paint on the canvas, and most of what I'm doing here is going to fly off again anyway. This is part of how you get big cells. You have to use a lot of paint. There has to be excess flowing off. If you try to stretch a small amount of paint, it disintegrates. Like, there just has to be excess. And no one's saying you can't reuse it later, but there has to be a lot of paint. It's the pool of paint expanding, carrying the cells on top, that makes them really big. This is what I'm trying to say. So here's the first spin, here's the second spin. We should have nice big chunky cells right where we started the swipe. See? It's as easy as that. Now, see, there is a lot of excess paint off the sides. I'm just going to scoop that up and reuse it as a base later. I regret that we lost a lot of the gold at the top, but I do like the accent it's creating. And there you go. Give this recipe a try and let me know what you think.